Okay, welcome to this week's edition of Paper Crafting with Tracy. My projects for this week are using this Sea of Texture stamp set, okay, and the coordinating framelits that go with it. So the first card, and then opens up like so. And then to do something a little different this week, we're making a little card holder or a gift bag holder. Okay, and you can see how I've stacked it with some cards there. A nice cute little three-dimensional project. So I think we will start with the card first. So I will get my card base. And we're going to use the coordinating designer paper this week. Okay, and I chose this background. Okay, but this paper is called Tranquil Textures designer paper. So I've cut it to fit my card base, like so. And then I'm going to take, you can do it one of two ways. You can cut it, or I used the layering squares framelits, and I'm going to cut out these squares, and these ones here. Okay, so I take some of my Tranquil Tide and my Whisper White, and I will go and cut those out. All right. And while I'm at it, I will also cut out the embellishments here using the Under the Sea framelits. Okay, so I'm using this one here, and then just the center of the large sand dollar. Okay, so I've got my stuff there, and there we go, and my large ones. Okay, so the stamp colors that I'm using this time is Fresh Fig. So I will do that, and then this one here is Tranquil Tide, which corresponds with the paper. So we will put this aside so I don't get any ink on it by mistake. And we'll start with two of these. Okay. So just using my stamp sets. And make sure it's inked up. And then remember it's going to be on a diagonal. Okay, so there we go. And then again for the larger seagrass or coral. Now this one here, I don't know if you can see that. It does have spots there that's going to look like it's not inking up, but that's okay because it's supposed to. It's supposed to give that look. So again, I want it like so. There, oops, I got a bit of ink on there, so that's okay. You flip it over. There we go. So I'll put that aside. Now for the other one, I'm going to use Tranquil Tide, as you can see for the inside, and I'm just going to layer some seagrass in there. Okay, and we're going to use this one here. So I only need to ink up just the end of it, and I'm going to ink off stamp it multiple times because I want varying depths to it. There we go. And then we will take our larger Whisper White here. Okay. And I'm going to put my sentiment. And I use Thanks for Reaching Out. So I'll just put some ink on that. And I'm just going to center that. There we go. Now it's assembly. So I'm going to put each on the back. I'll just move the ink out of the way of their coordinating Tranquil Tide. And there's that one. Careful, I got some ink on my finger. Like so. Oh, my other one's hiding there. And my last one. Now this was the one I accidentally got over, so that's the side I wanted to use. Okay, and then I've got my other two embellishments. So I will get my card base here. And I've scored it as I normally do in half, but then I took the one side and scored it again in half. So as you can see, the designer paper has two sides of different design. So there's one. Over, and I will put the other on. There we go. Now to assemble these. Now this is the part that it's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to start with the inside one. Okay, and what I wanted to do is make sure that the center of it lined it up with the fold of my card. I'll drop it down a tiny bit. There we go. And then I will, with these ones here, you want to make sure you're only taping on the side that's actually going to stick. So just a little bit there. And I'm going to do both of these at the same time. And I'm also going to position this one. So that one is going to end up being that side. So we'll line that up there because I wanted it when it's closed to cover that. And then these ones are just going to line up like so. There we go. Now to put our final embellishments, we'll use a little bit of glue. Oops. So we get some glue on there. Attach that. And then get some glue on the other one. And I just stuck it there. There we go. I put a little bit too much glue on the seam there, but that's okay. It will dry, and it dries clear. And there you have it. That card is complete. So we'll move that one aside. Just cap my glue so that I don't get it everywhere. And we will move on to our lovely card holder here. So the first thing you need is another piece of designer paper. So the one I chose this time is this one. Okay, and the back side is this. And that's going to be your embellish or your side trims. Okay. And it's cut to 9 by 12. Now if anybody is interested in the instructions for this, you can just send me a message and I will happily send them to you. Okay, and it's been scored at the 1 inch along the long side, the 1 inch, the 5 1/4, the 6 3/4, and the 11 inch. Okay, but making sure that the side you want as your main, okay, which is this one for me, is down when you're scoring it. And then 1 1/2 inch and 7 1/2 going this way. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is, there's these little boxes down at the end, which I just need to cut in. There we are. Okay, now I'm going to fold along, folding in along all the score lines on the long sides. Okay. And then I'm also going to fold in on this side, and you can see how this is taking shape, and that side. And then the final one, we're actually going to fold back, and that becomes your accent. Like so. Okay. So what's going to happen is that's going to come in, and these are going to fold into there, and then this one will come in as well. So ideally you would use some of the tear-in tape. I just don't have any handy. It's on my next order. And then I'm also going to do it on this side. And just line it up. And before I do that, I should run a strip along there as well, just to anchor that down. And on the other side as well. And then I'm going to line it up here. And just put some pressure on all the way around. There we have it. And now I will tape this side as well. Need to add a little bit of tape under there, and we line it all up. Oops. So I find it easier to just make sure your seam is in the corner there. And there we have it. Okay, the body of it is complete. So I'll put that aside. Then you're going to cut 2 1/2" by 12" strips. Okay, and decide if you want your handles to be this way or this way. And I'm going to go with the green out. And all I did was just take my banner punch, and all I wanted to do was snip, just to add a little bit of, you can just see where I'm just lined it up here in the center, just to give it a bit of different edge. You can use your corner rounder, that sort of thing, just so it wasn't a completely square edge. Okay, and now all you're going to do, make sure you're leaving your good side out. Just put a bit of tape on there. And we'll line it up here. Again on this side. We'll do the same to this one. And just match it up with the one in behind. Just making sure that there's no kinks. And there we have it. The bag is complete. Now, with my other one that I did, I added a little bit of embellishment, and you can put whatever you want on there. So, using the layering ovals, I've cut out with the Night of Navy, and then using the Under the Sea, okay, I just brought out some more here. And for this one, I actually wanted the starfish separated. Cut all those out. There we go. And now we'll just anchor this down. You can use a bit of glue. I'll just put a little bit of tape on. And it doesn't matter if you went over a tiny bit. And I'll use a tiny bit of glue for the starfish, just because he's so small. There we go. And now I'll just run some tape there, and we'll line it up at the center of my bag. And there you have it. Perfect size to slide your cards inside. So before we go today, I just wanted to remind everybody that it is still the bonus days. So for every $60 that is spent before shipping and tax in the month of August, you will earn a credit of $6 to be spent in September. So you will get a coupon mailed to you for every $60 that you spend. So if you're interested in purchasing any products that are used in any of my weekly projects, okay, my website is here, and this week the hostess code is this one. I hope you enjoyed making our 2 cards today using the Sea of Textures stamp set. Okay, thank you for joining me.